Welcome dear students. So today let's once again discuss lesson number 5, activities using a keyboard. In this lesson we are discussing the functions of various special keys like caps lock key. Whenever we press the caps lock key, then there is a light on the keyboard that turned on. That means now whatever the alphabet I will type, it will be typed in capital letters. When I press it again, then the light on the keyboard get turns off. That means now the alphabet will be typed in small letters. Next, we discussed that was the enter key. Enter key is used to go to the next line. If we want to go to the next line, then we will press enter key. And we are having two enter keys on the keyboard. Arrow keys. With the help of these arrow keys, these are four in numbers, and these arrow keys will allow the cursor to move up, down, left, and right. These arrow keys are also known as the navigation keys because it allows us to move within the document. So in this video, we are going to discuss some more special keys like backspace and delete key, page up and page down keys, and how we can save a document. So everyone open your book on page number 72. We did the reading of lesson up to page number 72 up to arrow keys. Now next, Jyoti, I used the left arrow key to take the cursor to the letter E that I want to erase. How do I erase the letter? Here, Jyoti, in the previous video, we have seen that Jyoti has typed Sweta instead of Shweta. So, where uh, she wants to erase this extra E. Now, we have learned the use of the arrow key. With the help of the arrow keys, we reached to one of the E. Now I want to erase this extra E. How we can erase this extra E? On a keyboard, we are having two types of erasers. One is your backspace key and another one is your delete key. Now let's learn the function of backspace key first. Then Moz is saying you should use the backspace key. Then Jyoti, backspace key is used for erasing the letter before the cursor. How do I erase a letter which is after the cursor? If I want to use backspace key as the eraser, then there is a rule that backspace key always erases the letter that is before the cursor. Now, what is cursor? Cursor is the blinking line, that is a vertical blinking line on the word pad. WordPad was the page from on which we can type. Now, for example, I have written Shweta. Now, I want to remove this extra E. How do I? Now, this vertical line, this is known as the cursor. We will take this cursor to the extra E with the help of arrows keys. Now, if I want to erase any letter before this cursor, then I will use backspace key. This is your backspace key. If you want to erase any letter before the cursor, then we will press backspace key. Now we were having our cursor here, so we will press backspace key to remove this extra E. Whenever we want to erase any letter which is before the cursor. In that case I will press backspace key. For example, now before the cursor the letter is E. Again I will press backspace key, it will erase E also. Now before the cursor we are having W, so when I press backspace key it will erase it. Similarly, before the cursor is now S. So I will press backspace and S will be erased. So backspace key is used to remove any letter before the cursor. But here Jyoti is asking, how do I erase a letter which is after the cursor? If I want to erase any letter after the cursor, in that case I will use delete key. Now come on next page, page number 73. Modes. Oh, use the delete key. Making changes to the text that you have written is called editing the text. Now let's see the function of delete key. Now I want to erase the letter after this cursor line, this standing line. So what I will do, I will use delete key. Here this is the delete key on the keyboard. Now let's open the WordPad. After the cursor here is the letter T. So I will press now delete key. It will delete T. Then after the cursor there is the letter H. So I will press delete to erase H. Similarly, now after the cursor is letter A. Again by pressing the delete key it will erase every alphabet that I have typed here. Now when we do such type of changes into the text, then it is known as the editing of the text. Means whenever we are adding, we are writing or erasing anything in computers, it is known as editing the text. Here it has been shown in the book, these red colored keys are known as the erasers for us. These are the erasers that are used to erase the extra alphabets or letters. So whenever you have typed something wrong, in that case you can erase it with the help of these two erasers. But there is a difference between these two erasers, that backspace key always erases the letters which are before the cursor, and delete key is used to erase the alphabets or letters after the cursor. So please underline the lines. Backspace key, this key erases the letter or number before the cursor. B for backspace and B for before. It is marked backspace. It is usually the last key in the rows of numbers. Then delete key. This key erases the letter or number after the cursor. So if this is the cursor, then backspace key is used to erase the letters which are left to it. And if I want to erase the letters which are right to the cursor, then we will use delete key. For left we will use backspace key, and for right we will use delete key. Next, making changes to the text. Please underline these lines also. Making changes to the text that you have written is called editing the text. Then Tejas finishes entering all the names and wants to give a title to the list. So he uses the up arrow key to move the cursor to the top of the page. As I told you in previous class, if I want to move inside the document, in that case I will use arrows keys. Now next are these two red colored keys. These keys are, this one is your page up and this one is your page down key. Now what is the function of page up and page down keys? These two keys are used to move the cursor up or down one page at a time. That means if you have written the full page, if I write here the full page, for example, I am writing the alphabet A, B, C. Now here, if I want to move to the uh, to the bottom of the page, in that case I can use arrows keys, but it will take me to the last of the page one by one. That means ki that how many lines I have typed here, I have to move to the each and every line to reach to the last of the page. But if I want to move to the up or down of the page instantly, in that case I will use page up and page down. Now for example, this time I am at the bottom of the page and instantly I want to move to the up of the page, so or to the top of the page. In that case I will press here page up key. Page up key will take us to the top of the page. On the keyboard there is the page up and page down keys. So whenever I will press page down, then it will take us to the down of the page. As I have scrolled it, that's why it is taking time. So this is the last of the page, and if I want to move up or top of the page, in that case I will use page up key. Arrow keys and the page up and page down keys, these are called navigation keys. Navigation means whenever we want to move within the document, then these keys allows us to move inside the document. That is why they are known as the navigation keys. They help us move around in a file. Please underline these lines also. Next, Jyoti, if you want to move to the beginning of a page, use page up. This will move the cursor up one page at a time. Use page down to move the cursor at the end of the page. So at a time, if you want to reach to the top of the page, then we will press page up, and if we want to move to the down of the page at a time, then we will press page down key.